Ho ho buddies, welcome to Borderline Games. I'm Gareth and today we're playing Chaos Head. Last time we saw Remy confronting whatever his name is, the guy that is one of the Genichi Narose, the mastermind maybe behind all of this delusion stuff. Maybe. And it seemed like we were kind of flitting between two realities, one of which being that Remy is one of many, maybe? The thing that's very difficult about this game is that it never really gives up what's real and what's not. So it will show you one reality, and then it'll flit to something like, yeah, that's not how it really happened, and then you're kind of left questioning what was real and what wasn't. Anyway, Takumi says, hey, will you kill me? Can you show me how to kill myself? And Seratan says, sure, I'll help you do it, buddy. And I don't know whether we should trust Seratan. In fact, you know, Seratan's been on my bad side for a while now. I thought that she is probably either a personification of the evil that this person is doing in this world, or maybe literally is being controlled by somebody, like a delusion being controlled by a mastermind, such as, what was his name, Garosi? Narose? Let's go. So Seratan says, in that case, I'll show you a real quick way to do it. This is why you're my waifu. Seratan always devoted herself to me. Commendably so. For starters, get your patootie outsidey. Outside? Doing as I was told, I stood up and headed for the door, and then after nearly tripping and falling over the trash countless times, I exited my base. Is she going to get him to jump off the top? I had no need to question her. Seratan would never betray me. She was my waifu after all, and she wasn't 3D. Once I was outside, a strange sound hit my ears. This sound... hadn't I heard it somewhere before? Okay, now you just gotta follow the sound. If I do, will someone kill me? Yipperoonie! I wonder, will they be gentle? You've got my word, Snookums! Thank goodness. Oh, he's really lost. I can finally die. This sound was my messiah. The bell of salvation that would grant me passage to the promised land. With Seratan in hand, I set off toward the sound. Whenever I got close to the sound, it would move farther away, almost like it was guiding me somewhere. Every time I seemed to be onto it, it would quickly become distant. Every time I seemed to lose track of it, it would come close and wait for me. As though it had a will of its own. A sound with a will of its own. It reminded me of Shogun's existence. His face flashed through my mind, but I quickly grew indifferent to it. Whether it was him or someone else, as long as someone killed me, I didn't mind. I even stopped wondering about the true nature of the sound. I was a delusionary existence, and I was going to die pretty soon, so there was no point in caring. With my head completely empty of all thoughts, like a moth to the flame, I staggered after the sound. Don't do it, Takumi. A barrage of noise now surrounded me. I was unable to differentiate any of them. With a click of my tongue, I tried to find the origin of the clamour, only to gulp instead. Oh, suddenly, without me having realised it, I was standing in Scramble Crossing, so not jumping off the top of a building. It was then that I realised that the clamour was coming from the sheer number of people crammed into the crossing. It was almost jam-packed. Everyone was pushing right up against each other, like a morning train ride during rush hour. Compared to when I'd been broadcasted from the top of O'Front, there was an even bigger number of people here. Now that I thought about it, Grim had mentioned something about this. Something about there being a festival at Scramble Crossing tonight. What the hell is this, Sarah? I've nothing but horrible memories of this place. Why did you bring me here? Right. So, Remy told us not to have any delusions. So, I feel like we should stick to that and just see if it pans out. And Sarah Tan says for revenge. That's interesting. For revenge! Where's the person who's going to kill me, Sarah? Right in front of you! Right in front of me. This tremendous crowd on this cold autumn night. Just what kind of festival could make so many people gather here to the point of there being no room to breathe? Suddenly, the wall of people opened up before me like I was Moses from the Bible. A single path, inviting me in. They were all waiting for one person. Me. It's the reality TV show that's sweeping the nation. Oh, it's the reality TV show that's sweeping the nation. Today's episode, the world's most terrifying offline meet. People from all over the net have come to lynch the biggest embarrassment in all of Japan, Nishijoru Takumi, right in the middle of Shibuya. Their catchphrase, "Whose eyes are those eyes?" When that long scenario played out in my mind, I laughed. As much as I hated pain, as long as I would die, I'd be more than willing to deal with that much. What a perfect festival for me to die at. I'd finally grasped what Sarah Tan had meant by revenge. I hadn't died the last time I was here, so they'd prepared this stage just for me. Forming a lazy smile stemming from the corner of my mouth, I started making my way through the path between the people. At the end of it, I could see various members of the mass media standing next to each other like idiots, cameras and microphones in hand. Both the onlookers and the mass media were incredibly tense. There was a tiny bit of commotion, but nowhere near the amount you'd normally hear at a festival. All the energy they'd had back when I'd humiliated myself atop O'Front was gone. Everyone looked at me. Their eyes were cold and sharp, staring daggers at me, with what felt close to murderous intent. Whether I liked it or not, my expectations were swelling higher and higher. Kill me. Kill me. Kill me. K-I-L-L-M-E. I'll spell it out for you. When I looked up, I realised that all four of the enormous jumbotrons were showing footage of me walking through the crowd. I was sure that, just like last time, this was a national broadcast too. If the viewer rate was even 40%, I would die while being watched by approximately 48 million people. The death of me, who was no more than a delusionary existence. The death of me who had no value whatsoever. The death of me, who was wholly and entirely worthless. Is that what you all want to see? Well then, congratulations, here you go. Eggy. The teen angst is high with this one. It doesn't matter either way to me. As long as I die, I don't care how many people see it. And so, I stood before the battery of cameras and microphones. A swarm of flashes burst in unison. Blinding lights flashed intermittently. Straining my eyes, I fought to endure them. Then a reporter that was probably in his 40s spoke up. I'd seen him on a number of talk shows before. Nishijuku-kun, what kind of performance are you planning to show us today? And while I've got you here, there's been talk about the crucifixion suspect that was arrested this morning. The people are saying that they were just a pawn, and that the mastermind's still out there. You got any thoughts on this, my friend? Why was this random guy acting all buddy-buddy with me? And what was that last part supposed to mean? Was he asking for my opinion? Huh. I guess when the media called up the criminal psychology professors every time... Hang on. I guess when the media called up the criminal psychology professors every time and they always said the same standard, uninteresting bullshit, even an amateur like me could serve as a replacement. Regardless, I couldn't have less of an opinion on what the guy was asking about. I'd lost all interest in New Gen. I'd come here to be killed, not to answer questions. I had no energy for it. Well, anyway, Nishijiro-kun, I'll just get straight to the point. The true culprit is commonly referred to as whose eyes are those eyes. And there's been rumours, some rumours, about it potentially being you. It very well might be. My whispers were broadcast all throughout Shibuya via the Jumbotron speakers. Commotion ensued. The bloodthirsty atmosphere got even stronger, among the people gathered here. I don't care. Just kill me already. Set me free. Stop asking me for things. And yet, despite my wishes, the microphones came even closer. They were pushed so violently toward me, the next step would be shoving one straight in my mouth. The other reporters, too, were raining questions down on me incessantly. Are we to take this as you admitting to having a part in this case? Have you ever been unable to distinguish video games from reality? What is your relationship with the suspect that was just arrested, Kameada? Please give us a statement. Do you view killing people like it's some kind of video game? In a sense, I was like a video game character. Someone please reset me. Just get me to game over once and for all. Just kill me already. As soon as those words left my mouth, the crowd at the peak of its tension exploded. Kill yourself! Inhuman garbage. Goddamn savage! I'll kill you myself. Burn in hell. Get the death penalty. I'll fucking kill you! Murderer. It's fun to do all those silly voices. I like to think that that was just one person doing all those voices. You know, even though it's kind of implied that it was a crowd of people. I was overwhelmed by the waves of people, and as the screams and shouts swarmed, I was swallowed up by undulated masses. I was tossed around and jostled, crushed to nothing and pulverized. Being shoved by people in all directions, my body started floating. My soles left the ground. No matter how much I struggled, I couldn't do anything. I was struck on the head, punched in the arms. But none of it was painful enough to kill me. And with no room to breathe, I started to suffocate. But I didn't resist. I entrusted my body to the chaos, and in doing so, Chaos Head, and in doing so, the pressure suddenly disappeared, and my body fell to the floor. Seratan fell from my hand and toppled onto the asphalt. Countless feet lined up like trees in a forest, and as they writhed about, my way rolled through the gaps between them. Despite extending my hand, I couldn't reach her. Her face, complete with that endlessly radiant smile of hers, the smile that soothed my soul, was stepped on by someone's shoe. Taki, it hurts! Help me, Taki! Now you want my help. Her small body was kicked farther away, and some lady in red high heels ended up crushing her torso. Taki! Yeah, big! Sarah? No matter how much I called out to her, no answer came. My one and only ally was gone. It felt like my chest was being crushed by sorrow. I'd lost all reason to stay in this world. To live. And when I looked up, surrounded by people as I was, even the night sky was hidden away from me. No one noticed I was there, slumped down on the ground. Even though I was right here, even though I was asking for someone to kill me. Why was everyone ignoring me? It just occurred to me that, you know that bit of the game where we went back to our parents' house and it was discovered that the parents' house didn't exist, it could have been that our memory of that was actually in the virtual reality space, and we're in reality now, as opposed to it being that none of it was real, and currently nothing is real. You know? I don't know. Why was everyone ignoring me? Ah, I don't know who that was. Might have been a weird line. Suddenly, I felt it right on the nape of my neck. That tingling sensation. Oh, God's gaze. You. And within my mind. Can't die here. A certain voice rang. I gulped. Obtain your D-sword. And firmly gritted my back teeth. It's Shogun! Shogun! I searched for that wheelchair among the crowd, for that bastard cosplaying as Darth Spider. So you were the one behind this festival, huh? I knew it. Are you planning to wheel out there and threaten me all while you're in your offensive Darth Spider cosplay? You trying to recreate what happened last time? I wished for death. The entire time I'd been alive, I'd just been some tool for everyone's amusement, and I couldn't take it anymore. The Shogun from back then wasn't me. I don't tend to cosplay. I don't care. Just kill me, please. They're starting to take action. This place will soon turn even more chaotic than it already is. They? The masterminds behind everything. The ones causing this chaos, and the people using it for their own interests. No one but you can stop them. I stood up. The angry voices kept surging above my head. No one was looking at me. The onlookers and the people from the media were all jumbled together, grabbing each other, cursing at each other, punching each other. Why were they... The silent weapon. Noah the Second is already in operation. The one and only motive behind this chaos is indiscriminate human experimentation. Ugh. Something hard hit my head. A sharp pain ran through me. A pain so intense I thought my skull had been broken. My hands automatically shot up to my head, cradling it. As I looked around with tears in my eyes, I found a rock on the ground the size of a fist. A tiny smear of blood coloured part of it. Someone had thrown that rock and it had hit me. A throbbing pain coursed through me. Moving my head toward the source, my fingers touched something sticky. Bringing my hand down in front of my face, I saw blood on my fingertips. My own blood. Ah! I heard a dry explosion in the distance. Oh, I see. Followed by a lady screaming. And that's, what the lady sounded like, I guess. A gunshot. There were people with guns here. What the fuck's happening now? Why was everyone so worked up? Why was everyone fighting each other despite being total strangers? Why was this so chaotic? Chaotic Hedodic. The villain's sacrifice everyone was waiting for. Wasn't mine? Shibuya's GE rate, biorhythms are rising to unprecedented levels. Like I told you before, indiscriminate human experimentation. Everyone here is under an invisible attack. Then I heard a sound. A creaking, rusty sound. A sound akin to a dying woman gasping for air. The sound of a wheelchair. Despite how many people there were, despite the wall of people surging erratically, Shogun moved his wheelchair forward. And without bumping into anyone, without getting dragged into a single fight, he made his way straight to me. Ever so small, with a body of skin and bone, he was covered in wrinkles, and looked so frail. It was as if he might break at the slightest touch. His eyes were cloudy as could be. I didn't know what he was looking at, nor what he saw through those eyes. I couldn't bring myself to look away anymore, and suddenly the tumult surrounding me began to grow distant. "I've been watching you. Always." It was the same voice as the time we'd first met. It wasn't the strange voice I'd heard at O'Front. Oh, okay, it's different. "Who are you?" "I'm you." Yeah, we knew that, didn't we? And with those few words, I finally understood. "The one who envisioned me." Oh. "The one who envisioned me in a delusion. The one who created me. The one behind God's gaze. Was you." "Yes." He was my creator. The existence who had envisioned me within a delusion. Someone who I could never hope to match up to. "What's your name?" "Nishijo Takumi." The real me. The original me. "How old are you?" "The same as you. As far as your backstory goes, that is." 17 years old. Even though he was so small, even though he was covered in wrinkles, he was only 17 years old. "If things stay this way, the world will die. Everyone's mind will be put under control by no other second. That's why I entrusted it to you." Entrusted? Entrusted what exactly? I don't understand. I have nothing to do with any of this. I beg you, erase me. I want you to erase me. Hurry. Shogun's wrinkles stirred. He was likely making an expression, but I couldn't see it as anything other than wrinkles shifting on his face. "This is all my fault. All because I happened to delude IR2. I tried my best to stop it, but with my body like this, I couldn't do what I wanted to. That was when I created you. To have you stop it. I know nothing about any of that. Just because I'm your copy doesn't mean I want to do the same things you do. If the copy is the only one who has to suffer, I don't want to be a copy. Just let me die." "You're not a copy. You're another me." In other words, a copy. "Do you realize how horrible what you're doing is?" Oh, hang on, wrong voice. "Do you realize how horrible what you're doing is?" And then I realized they're not that different. Kind of the same voice, but with like a weird filter of my throat. "I know, and I could never apologize enough." I mean, I guess all these voices are me. They can't be that different, can they? But there was no other way. It is no overstatement to say that the fate of the world rests on your shoulders. That's why..." Why? Why can't you just ask Remy to do it? You're acquaintances, after all. Acquaintances. I'd said that on purpose. I didn't want to think they were lovers or good friends. And so only then did I realize my feelings. I was jealous of the original me. That was rich coming from a delusionary existence. What a fucking disgrace. I couldn't believe myself. There was not knowing your place, and then there was this. My own feelings made me want to throw up. My emotions continued to spiral. I wanted to die. "Remy left to save Nanami, but was imprisoned instead." Huh? "Remy, well, she tried to save me. The reason being one you should already know." Is that the sky? That sky. Oh. Why is it so blue that it makes me want to cry? Because someone wished for it to be. I didn't wish for it. No, but I did. Because this place is your... Oh, hang on. Because this place is your image world, but at the same time it is mine as well. Oh, there's Remy. Remy turned toward me. She stared at me, her face deeply puzzled. Who are you? There shouldn't be anyone here other than me. Are you another me? Who is talking now? No. Then who are you? How'd you come here? This is the inside of my heart. Here, there's never been anything but darkness. Okay, so this has got to be... This has got to be Shogun. This is the inside of my heart. Here, there's never been anything but darkness. The only light was the spotlight shining down on me. And yet, the moment you arrived, the darkness vanished and the sky appeared. Our delusions synchronized, something that was only made possible by your immense power. Oh. Remy looked up toward the sky once more. It was a crystal clear azure sky. Okay, this is Remy. I've never seen the real sky. When this current me was born, the current personality, I'd already been locked in a dark room. There was nothing but darkness, both inside and outside my heart. I've never been allowed to leave that place. Just now. Oh. So is this Shogun? Just now I was trying to die. To make my heart kill itself. I'm sure all the previous me's have done that too. No, that's Remy. Dear God. But since you brought the scar to me, would it be okay if I carved the scenery into my memories? That way the next me can envision it. Do you want to die? Yes. Don't you wish to see the real sky? Say, is there really a sky out there? There is. But the real sky is far more polluted than this one. Where is it? That sky. Where is it? Wherever you wish for it to be. Is it okay for me to wish for it? Of course it is. How do I wish for it? Light is composed of electromagnetic waves. The oscillations of these waves are what people perceive as colour. If you apply the colour you desire to your own dead spots, you can create the colour of the world you desire. The world will meet your wishes. Several days, even months perhaps, had then passed since that encounter, and one day Remy had come to my hospital room. She and I were fellow patients at the same hospital, so this is from Shogun's perspective, I'm assuming. Shogun is Takumi at this point, right? So, fellow possessors of something that transcended human understanding, the power of giglomania, an attribute we were unsure whether to abhor. Is that how you say abhor? Let's learn something new today. I feel like that's how you say it. Abhor, abhor. Pronounce it for me. Google. Yeah, this is what it is. Yeah. Abhor. Abhor. Is that what I said? Abhor. Alright. Or take great pride in. It also means extreme repugnance if you were interesting. Big bro, you've got a visitor. Or is it Nanami? So, who is she? Is she your girlfriend? When did you get one of those? Way to go, big bro. We meet again. She was deeply haggard. Her skin was morbidly pale. Her hair was dry and neglected, growing according to its own whims. Her fingernails were cracked. We're going to find out exactly who this is next time on Borderline Games. Thank you so much for watching this episode of Chaos Head, and I will see you next time. Have a great evening. Take care of yourselves. Bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye. Bye-bye-bye-bye.